Yes, sir. Teezy for the people. I told y'all I'm always out in the streets with the people, and right here, man, this is going to be an extraordinary episode, man. This man is not only one of the longest running battle freestyle rappers, real freestyle rappers, not only on Cocoa Brother, Hot 975, 107.9, but also 7 weeks complete at motherfucking 106 in Park. You get what I'm saying? And probably the first and probably last battle rapper signed to So Def and Jermaine Dupri, coming all the way from Rochester, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the one, the only SunN.Y. Son, what's up, my G?
What's poppin' with you, baby?
You feel me?
Welcome to the kitchen, man.
Welcome to the kitchen. You know we had to do this in the kitchen, man, before we get started, man. This man has, like, bro, your subs is great. Like,
appreciate that.
No, I'm not, no cap. Like, your subs is great. Me and my mans was just talking about how we can get orders all the way 50 miles away just to get orders for the subs, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's get it straight to it. So, let's go for upbringing, man. You was originally in Rochester, New York. That's where you originally from?
Yeah, originally from Rochester, New York, west side of town.
Okay.
Known as the 19th Ward. And then, you know, I'm also from the other side of town, known as Joseph World, which is Joseph and Dell Street, which is kind of, you know, where I spent my adolescence, as I like to say, my knucklehead years of life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
How did you actually get on 106 in Park? Was it something that you had to, like, fill out, or was, like, your man's from a man's? What happened?
So it kind of was a man's from my man's.
Okay.
First and foremost, I want to say rest in peace to Fox 5 News anchor lady, Amanda Davis, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, facts.
Amanda Davis.
Facts.
One night I was at the movies with her daughter. We was leaving the movies, and she had called and was like, you know, where's Sonny at? And she was like, well, we leaving the movies. And she was like, well, Hot 107.9 is wondering where he at. Because I had actually been the battle champion on Hot 107.9 Cocoa Brothers show at the time.
Before 106
Before 106 in Park.
Okay,
perfect. So 2004,
right.
I was the champion of battle rap on Hot 107.9.
How long was you champion on Hot 107.9? Just for the people?
For a year.
For a year?
Yeah. But around maybe like around August, I had stopped going up there.
Right.
Because I had just kind of got discouraged with like the whole chasing my dreams thing in Atlanta with the rap and all that. I had meetings, like nothing was kind of like seeming to materialize. Right. And I just felt like the rapping on the radio thing was going nowhere at the time. Right. So I kind of took a hiatus, but it was actually around Halloween. I guess. Well, what had happened is 106 in Park was looking for someone from the South to represent on 106 in Park because it had been so East Coast dominated. So they was out here scouting, and during their scouting, they went to Cocoa Brother show, and Cocoa Brother was having a process of elimination.
I remember that. From downstairs to upstairs.
From downstairs to upstairs.
Yeah, right. Everybody would, like 30 to 50 people would rap downstairs.
It'd be like 10 people downstairs trying to get upstairs, and he would pick like the best 3 downstairs, and they would come upstairs, and that's kind of who would battle me at the time.
Right.
The challenger. So that particular night, Pills, who was signed to MMG from over on Pink City Projects.
I remember.
Yeah, so Pills was up there.
Shout out to Pink City.
Shout out to Pink City Projects.
Right. You know.
What a Rochester, New York nigga know about Pink City Projects?
Right. You know.
All right, so rest in peace, Pink City Projects used to be by the anyway.
Right.
If you know, you know. But so that particular night, I think Pills and Reggie P. Shout out to Reggie P. Another well-known,
still doing his thing.
Another well-known Atlanta battle rapper.
Right.
Them two were the finalists that night.
Right.
But because I had came off a hiatus and came up to the station that night, Cocoa Brother had honored my reign as champion.
Right.
So them two had to battle each other, and then whoever won that battle had to battle me, and then whoever won that went to 106.
Right.
So, you know, so I ended up on 106.
Basically, just a little clarity. You started first on Hot 107.9, 97.5 with Cocoa Brothers.
I started. I believe it was February. It was February 2004, the Friday following Super Bowl Sunday.
That's crazy. You remember that exact moment.
because I moved here Super Bowl Sunday.
That's crazy.
And when I moved here,
soon as you moved here, you went straight to the radio station and got it.
That was the mission.
That was the mission.
That was the mission. Come out of Rochester and come here and go straight to there and dominate any open mic. If I could hold a microphone, when I left Rochester, my mission coming to Atlanta was I had said a prayer to God and all that, and it was like, yo, I'm gonna get this gift you gave me 2 years in Atlanta, and from the moment I get there, if I could rap, I'm a rap.
Right.
And so I got here Super Bowl Sunday. The reason why I remember it though, my homies who I had moved here with, who opened up a space for me to crash on the couch, they all was from the AUC.
Right.
2 of them from Rochester. The rest of them, God bless the dead. My man Cujo, he was from Winder, Georgia. My man Kenny from Jersey. A cat named Lamont. I think he was from St. Louis, East St. Louis. And then my man Breeze and my man Pimpin was from Rochester. So when I got here that night, they had a full-blown Super Bowl party.
Right. That's
so
crazy.
if you know handsome fly niggas that went to the CAU,
right.
Brought women was nothing. So coming from Rochester, landing in Atlanta, walking into a house, party time. It was stupid.
Right, I can imagine.
It was ridiculous.
Especially with the AUC.
So waking up Monday, that Friday, suited and booted to go battle somebody.
That's crazy.
So that's why I remember the timeline of that.
That's crazy.
So that was that week, and I got retired off the radio the same night that I had got retired off of 106. The illest thing about that is that Coco Brother will broadcast my battles on 106 live over the radio.
That's
so
hard.
The whole Atlanta could hear it.
That's crazy.
Therefore, my fan base, and I always held this to heart, because that night, people was calling like, yo, we want dude from Rochester to represent Atlanta on 106 in Park. Like, it was Atlanta people calling for me to represent them as far as battle rap. And I received it because I had been on the air holding it down. So if you a hip hop head and, you know, this network is looking for somebody from the South to represent, you know. So when I was on 106, I would say, you know, I'm from Rochester, New York, but I live in Atlanta now.
Right.
And it was just, you know, like, to me, that just felt mad special. You know what I'm saying? Because I, you know.
Back in Rochester, right? So, you know, you had Smack do the DVDs.
Oh, well, Smack DVD. So Smack DVD was really running around New York City. Just to clarify, Rochester is like 6 hours from New York City.
Right.
So Rochester is technically Western New York.
Okay.
And then Buffalo is considered upstate New York.
Okay.
But we're 45 minutes apart.
Did you ever like get into that culture with Smack DVDs at any time?
Oh, so at the time,
before you came to Georgia?
Nah, because it wasn't accessible to me in Rochester.
Okay.
And I felt like coming to Atlanta was a more strategic move to showcase who I was,
right,
than going to New York City where it was overcrowded.
Right, because you took a different route, though. I ain't gonna lie to you, because, like, most battle rappers, you know what I'm saying, they try to get with, like, you know, it's like a Smack situation, like, platform type thing.
Yeah.
Or, like, they just strictly in the streets, like, but they're not really trying to make a career out of it. You get what I'm saying? Like, they rapping with their homeboys and stuff like that. So it's interesting to know that you came from, you know, Rochester, came to Atlanta, and, like, automatically within days, like, went up to the radio station. It shows, like, the ambition of what you was doing.
Yeah. Cause see, so I guess kind of looking back at it,
cause I was ambitious as fuck, bro.
That's a fact. Like
days.
I was
like,
battling.
You didn't even get time to settle in for real, like.
Nah, I didn't. And like I said, like, I came here on a mission.
Right.
You feel me? Like, one thing about me freestyling, I since a young lad, I've always known that my freestyle capabilities was, like, just different than you know. I mean, shout out to KRS-One. Like, shout out to KRS-One.
Right.
Common Sense.
Dougie Fresh.
Shout out to Supernatural. A lot of the known hip hop artists that are also held as great freestylers, right?
Now yours is way different though. I before we even, like, really, like, met and stuff like that, like I've been heard you on Coco Brothers. You know what I'm saying? I've been heard you doing that. And like I actually been up there, like just after you retired, I actually been up there into freestyle, right? And it's just different because like the culture of them, that's why I said they came from downstairs, you know what I'm saying? They coming upstairs, the top three. You really didn't get to study who you was battling. You get what I'm saying? Nah. And then like you being the reigning,
but not to cut you off.
Nah, you good.
I never really cared to. Because I always felt like I wanted my I freestyle to the level of the spitter. Right. Kind of like how, you know, just like sports. Right. You know, like if you like an athlete, like competitiveness, you know, some people compete to the level of their competition, right? Right. So for me, I always wanted to just hear somebody fresh, just like making music. You know what I'm saying? When I'm making a record, I don't really want to sit there and listen to the beat repetitively because I'm gonna get bored with it. Right. I want to hear it I need to be in the booth, play the beat, turn it on, make sure we record it. Let's at least get this first take. Right. Because that's how I grew up. Like that's how producers would take me to the studio. Like nah, man, this nigga send that nigga in the booth, turn the beat on. He don't even need to hear the beat. Just let that nigga go. Just do like the first 3 takes raw. And I would deliver a whole song 3 times. And then they would sit and chop up my verses. Right. And then somebody told me, okay, go write this. Right. I didn't know MCs wrote rhymes till my best friend Curtis Colt called and was like, yo, I wrote a rap. This is like 92, 93. That's crazy. So my freestyle capability, I've always freestyled in the sense of delivering a real song or, you know, making sure it made sense, not just rapping all over the place. Right. So when it came to battling, I was like second nature. I will battle a nigga, but it'll sound like a clean verse. Always though, yo, from 106 always, I'm telling you, like, you really have a special gift. Like I can look at the crowd, right? You know what I'm saying? So let's just break down the science of just freestyling, right? I look at the crowd, I see certain things, and this thing that I see on, I'm already thinking of like 3 words before I can just say that one thing. Yep. It might not make sense, but it'll end with that. You know what I'm saying? Right. But the way that you was doing it, it was like you was breaking down a damn story. You get what I'm saying? Like it sounded like a 16-bar verse. Like it sounded like you pre-written that. You know what I'm saying? Like and everything. And then another thing, to rap on beats. There you go. That's the hardest thing ever, especially when freestyling, because it's a certain cadence that you have to have. You got to catch it to keep it going. Yeah. So, like, yo, commend you on that. You appreciate that. Thank you for breaking that down, though. Yeah. I appreciate that. I got you, though. Because I know that's what you do. They don't really understand the science of that, for real, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, that shows you, like, you a quick thinker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just even how you operate in business, period. You know what I'm saying? I already see it. Like, you already, like, 10 steps ahead on every level, you know what I'm saying? And I really think like that's from you, like training yourself, you're training your mind so much just from like freestyling back, you know, as a youngin. Yeah. So let's get straight into the, you know, the beans and the butter and all that, right? So did you ever see yourself before you got signed to So Def, did you ever see yourself coming down here and like really signing with a major label? So again, in that era of pursuing your dreams of becoming a rapper, because it was different back then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like let's say, all right. So back then, like getting a record deal was still like what you thought. That's what you wanted. Exactly. You rap to get a record deal. Exactly. So that's why I started off by saying. And a lot of people didn't know how to get a record deal. You know what I'm saying? Right. Other than like printing up 10 to 20,000, you know, CDs or units in the streets or something like that. And hopefully getting heard. Right. But you just using your voice and the platforms that you was on. You get what I'm saying? Man, Hot 107.9. Yeah. Red Train. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Red Train. Northside. You know what I mean? Apache. Shout out Drez the Beatnik. Yeah. Apache was crazy back then, too. Where else would I go? There would be open mics at Club Chaos in Buckhead. Right. I remember Club Chaos. So you would basically just like create like a schedule for yourself. I did. I had a weekly schedule of every open mic in Atlanta, and it was probably at least, not including me having to battle on Friday, it was at least 5 nights a week. So it was basically like you was hitting reps already before you got to Friday, and then Friday was just like boom. Friday it was like let's play.
Right, because you know what I'm saying.
Who we bodying tonight? We used to pregame on the porch over on West Ontario in the West End off of Ralph David Abernathy.
That's crazy.
That was the first crib. That was the second crib I stayed in Atlanta, but that was the realest crib. We used to pregame on the porch, getting ready to go to Hot 1079. It was always a bottle of Remy or Henny, couple spliffs, and a couple people. We used to take the immediate crew that knew what was going on. They was always ready.
Right.
But other people be like, yo, what you gonna say tonight? And somebody always be like, man, that nigga don't know what he gonna say tonight. I'm telling you, man, this nigga crazy, man.
Right.
You just gotta see this nigga, you feel me?
Right.
So I'd be like, man, we just gonna go play tonight. Cause I didn't know who I was battling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It sounded like you didn't know who you was going to battle at all, but you always incorporated.
Yo,
you got to listen. I got to
hear a wild story about that.
Let me hear the story.
So one night, shout out to my man. What's my man name, man? Damn, he running around with Anyways, this is funny, right? So one night we up there. I'm up there to battle, but it was always like a rapper up there when I got there.
Right.
At this time, I think he was just about to pop, but it was Young Scrappy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we almost got into an altercation with Young Scrappy in 2000.
That's crazy.
It was wild. I'll never forget that.
That was his wild days.
Yeah. So we came up there to battle. I was with my man Cool J, and this cat from California that was his neighbor. They stayed in Stone Mountain at the time. And I never forget, man. We came, Scrappy had came. We was already there. They came in, and he was interviewing me. And when the mics went off, he was like, oh yeah, we see the New York tags outside with them little 20s on that big old on that Navigator. And my man Cool was it was just out of nowhere. But it was just funny. The reason why I'm telling this because that was 2000.
Right.
I came down here. My third time trying to move to Atlanta was in 2004,
right.
And that's when my reign took place.
Right.
So by the time I came back, he was like Young Scrappy. So when I'm in Rochester sitting in a spot,
right.
I'm telling niggas yo, we almost got into a fight with this nigga. Right. So you know what I mean? But it's just an ill story to tell because like shout out to Scrappy. I never forget that night because it also showed me it was like a precursor to what I was gonna go through being from New York, trying to obtain the deal in Atlanta.
Or just being in the industry.
Or just being in the industry.
The whole culture.
Yeah, but it was an ill night. That shit was funny. Because like I say again, I didn't know who he was at. Because he wasn't Young Scrappy that night. Right, he was just an ATL nigga. You know what I'm saying?
So what's it like, you know what I'm saying? What was it like, all right, so everybody's seen the clip, you know what I'm saying, where the chain got, you know what I'm saying, Jermaine Dupri put the chain over you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, the So Def chain. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to So Def Records. You get what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You said some ill moments, man. Shout out to moms. You know what I'm saying? First, shout out to moms. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? Just stick with it. You know what I'm saying? Staying to what you do. You get what I'm saying? And right. I really like that. You get what I'm saying? So when you got back to Atlanta after that whole little moment, you get what I'm saying? How was it like working with Jermaine Dupri, and what was the first thing that y'all just started working on? Was it just a chill moment in the studio, or did y'all get straight to business?
So that was a how can I say? So first of all, shout out to Big Bob.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Big Bob, but he's head of Jermaine Security. Okay. Big Bob. Shout out to Big Bob. The Jermaine Dupri story, man, it's like a story of his own. I ain't gonna hold you. Cause again, man, looking back then, we always, I was viewing looking back then, life was in the flesh. Right. More flesh than faith. Right. But if I had been looking at it through the eyes of faith than flesh back then, it was such an ill situation how the whole thing with Jermaine lined up. You know what I'm saying? It started with us going to Visions. Right. Shout out to AG. I remember Visions. Shout out to AG, and rest in peace to his brother. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Me and my man Breeze had pulled up the Visions one night, and I was in the DuPont Registry magazine. So I had knew that the Phantom had an umbrella in the back door. Right. So I seen the Phantom, and I seen the Phantom part. I told my nigga Breeze, I said, yo, when we come out of this club, whoever driving that Phantom, they could get us a deal.
Right.
I swear to my mother, that's
crazy.
what I told Breeze. So we party, blah, 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 blah. Come out the club, I hear, yo, son. I could hear my name being vaguely called, but then I heard my government.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I heard my government. I look, it's Breeze, and he's leaned over at the Phantom like this. He like, and I'm like, oh shit. So like, it clicked. You told this nigga,
right,
whoever in the Phantom could get us a deal that night.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So get over there. It's Big Bob. Long story short, I freestyled for Big Bob right there in the spot. We only had 3 copies of Soul of a Hustler.
Right.
Right. We had just recorded Soul of a Hustler. Had like 3 copies of it. Gave a copy to Bob. He wouldn't play it in front of us. And you know, we was kind of tight. Like, damn, we only got 3 copies. This burning CDs back then.
Right.
So you got to go through a lot to get another copy.
Nah, for real.
You know what I'm saying? So so he like, man, I got a system at the crib. I like to play it. Okay, you can have a CD.
Right.
But before you go, you about to hear this shit.
Right.
So I freestyled to the nigga. And I don't remember it, but I do remember during the freestyle, I talk about carjacking him for the Phantom, but all I want was the umbrella in the back door. So we exchanged, he exchanged info with my nigga Breeze. We get a phone call the next day. Big Bob like, meet me at 50-yard line in College Park. So me, my nigga Malario had like the newest model Lexus GS. So when I moved here, I either drove my nigga Cujo Honda, or Malario would let me drive his Lexus, cause I'm the rapper.
Right.
Feel me? Everybody else shotgun. You niggas fight where y'all sitting at. SunN.Y is. You know what I mean? So we drive out there. The nigga Big Bob, as soon as we sit down, Big Bob say, matter of fact, when we walk in, he got the umbrella on the table.
Yeah. So he remembered the rhyme.
He was like, I didn't even know this bitch had an umbrella in it. You
Right,
feel
right,
me?
right.
How you knew? I read the DuPont registry. Long story short, he befriends us that night.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now, every now and then, we getting invited to Social Def Studio. He know that we like to go to Visions. So he introduced us to AG. From that night forward, AG always let us in free. You know
Wait. So if I'm trying to understand this correctly, before you got the chain on you, you was already around Jermaine Dupri.
To a degree. Because I was fucking with I was fucking with the man that protected his life. I was fucking with Big Bob.
Hey, that's exclusive right there, you know what I'm saying?
No, but listen, it is exclusive. Because everybody think he came on TV and
right,
did what?
Right, that's crazy.
There you go.
So basically, just the stars aligned for you.
Like I said, if I was, back then, I was dealing with more flesh than faith.
Right.
If my faith
that's crazy.
If I was lined up with my faith, I would have seen it all happening. But because I was in my flesh, I'm just thinking, oh shit, I'm nice. This is about this. You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool. So moving.
So
forward.
fast forward.
Yeah.
Fast forward one night, Social Dev Radio.
Right.
On what's the other station? Hot 107.9. Then there's
V103.
V103. Social Dev Radio on V103. Right.
Right.
So we got Social Dev Radio on V103. It was going on Social Dev Radio one night. We in the wet, and Jermaine Dupri like, he like, yeah, I got these artists. I got Slim, such and such up here. Whoop whoop. Yeah, I heard this cat named SunN.Y doing this thing. Whoop whoop. And he let them rap on the radio. You feel me? And then he like, yeah, you know, if you think you nice or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Come up here next week or whatever. And I'm like, what? Like, what? But now, mind you, we done been in his studio a couple times.
Right.
You know. And
so he just keeps seeing you.
But
basically.
we there with Big Bob. Right. And he only speak if we speak.
Right.
So if I say what's up, he'll say what's up.
Right.
If we don't speak, he
ain't speaking.
He on his JD.
Right.
You feel me? So so we like, all right, cool. So then, you know, next week we go up there, you know what I'm saying? And then so that night, you know what I'm saying, Bob called us, come to the studio, we go to the studio. And by this time, like at this point we on 106, matter of fact. We on 106 at this time. And it was after I did the banging the white tee, hanging my white tee, slinging a bit of cocaine, slinging my white tee.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was after that. It was after the third week. Which, you know, caught a lot of people eye.
It did.
You know what I'm saying? So so we go up there, and we, you know, Soul of a Hustler is, you know, it kind of made his little rounds. We don't sent it out to DJs. You know, it's making its rounds. And so we up there, and
Damn near legendary in the streets though.
Nah, for a fact.
For a fact.
Like for me, so back to the Smack DVD thing, right?
Right.
I realized at this point I had kind of built up an industry name buzz more than a street buzz or a mixtape.
That's
buzz.
the reason why you asked, because you did.
So it was kind of like, you know, in hindsight, it was kind of like going from high school to the pros without going to college, without having to go through the mixtape,
it was
freestyle routes and shit.
It was though.
But that's not to say that, you know, looking back, you know, I kind of wish I would have like had a little impact on the DVDs at that time.
Right.
It's just that part of hip hop culture wasn't popping in Atlanta.
And also,
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that kind of goes back to what I was saying, kind of when we spoke outside of the interview, when I was like, you know, shit, you know, looking back at it over the years, I kind of came out here and brought a part of hip hop culture to Atlanta that wasn't that probably was here, but it always takes somebody to like water the seed.
Nah, I give it to you. You did.
You get what I'm saying?
You did though. Like, and just to break it down for the grassroots, for the people who don't understand what we talking about. Like, for when you did the, you know, like being on Coco Brother for a whole year. You get what I'm saying? And freestyling for a whole year. This is 2004 at that. You get what I'm saying? We was going through still our crunk phase of, you know what I'm saying, hip hop.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like the Lil Jon.
Man, Big Camp. I ain't had cable when I moved out here, so I used to watch Big Camp on the regular TV.
You feel me? Like all that.
So, like, we used to pull up the Big Camp store like religiously because in my eyes, coming from New York, see, I came out here probably not even, again, like, as talking to you, I'm probably realizing a lot of shit at this moment, right? So I came out here with a New York grind.
Right.
So I'm like nigga, I pulled up to Stankonia and walked my demo in and sat it at the table with the beautiful lady that was working the front desk back in 2000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I know you can't do that in New York. They not about to let you in any studio and just drop your joint off. So I realized Atlanta was like open. Like it was open arms to talent. You know what I'm saying? Because like you in the home of L.A. Reid, So Def. Like you're in the, like when I came here, no disrespect to Atlanta at all. But when I came here, Atlanta was still genuinely happy about making music and being creative.
Right.
It wasn't gate kept yet.
Actually,
like
when you got
certain it didn't like, you know, because now we're in a time where you can just see like, you know, a region crosses a threshold and for a fact certain artists get left out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So Atlanta was just such a beautiful place at the time and it still is. Like I still know cats that moved here, regular cats and made their shit happen. I'm not saying it ain't the Mecca, but it was, you know, tribes change. You know what I'm saying? So
you actually came through in the transition too, though.
Yeah, because I was here for the Big Meech era. Like,
right.
I got like, you know, man, like, yo, word is born. Like, you know, shit, man. When I first got signed to Social Def, we was in Magic City one night. Nigga, Big Meech there, Game there, the club looking like the movie Colors. Like, it's blood niggas walking around with barrettes in their hair. Just like real Compton shit going on. You feel me?
Right.
And in the midst of all that, it's me and my nigga Big from back home. You know what I'm saying? My nigga John Davis, who I've been knowing all my life. And we standing together, and this cat walked up with the BMW shirt, and he like, yo, Meech wanna holler at you. And I'm like, huh? And he like, yeah, come on. You know what I'm saying? So and my nigga, so I tap my nigga Big. I say, yo, come on. And he like, nigga, what? I'm about to go over there. You know what I'm saying? Because reaching them up on the platform, you know, when you come at Magic to pose in the pit.
Definitely.
So they on the platform, you know, whole platform, you know, is blue and the other shit is red. Like, it's like you know what I mean? The Red Sea split like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, man, come on. And he like, nah. And then like, dude took a few steps, turned around and was like, yo, I said, Meech want to talk to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we go over there. Long story short, you know what I'm saying? Meech grabbed my Social Def chain and he was like, yo, man, I'm proud of you, man. He was like, you know what, man, if this don't work out, you know I got you.
That's
you
crazy.
know what I'm saying? Like you know, one day.
That's something legendary that I would probably never forget.
You see, I'm telling this. Yo, I got a song on one of my projects where I got a whole verse talking about, like, you know, kind of like my, like, you know, this is years. I did this song years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know modern day Meech shit. You know what I'm saying? I did it years ago. And I say that because, like, I had, like, you know, this is like 04, obviously before he got locked up. Like, one day we leaving Buckhead, And he was walking his Rottweilers down the street, like over there where ESPN used to be at. You know what I'm saying? And boo boo blew the horn, circled the block, and even then he had told me like, "Yo, man, you nice." So I say that to say this: when I watched the BMF document, like the BMF series from 50, and I see how he was about music, like I literally watched those episodes. Like I literally watched that and seeing how he literally had a passion for music and new artists. And I thought about our encounters at the time and was like, damn, like Sun was genuine. Like it wasn't just no like, you know what I'm saying? Like word, like, you know what I'm saying? And that same night, Game told me the same shit. He was like, yo, you was killing that shit on the radio, 106 in Park. But you see, Game came and got Reggie P back then. Yeah.
Man, it's so crazy though, like out of all the people that, you know what I'm saying, from 106 in Park Freestyle Friday, it's probably only 2 people that like we really remember. It's like you and Blind Fury.
You got me, Blind Fury.
That's the only people I really remember. No disrespect
and
to
then of course,
else.
everybody, Chen.
Yeah, and Jen. And Jen.
Jen, I said Chen.
Jen. Y'all 3 was most definitely like the most impactful to me. No disrespect to no any other artist, but most definitely. And like you for sure represented for our culture.
Nah, that's a fact.
You get what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
So like it was most definitely just like, man, bro, this is one of the reasons I got into music was just, you know what I'm saying, watching 106 in Park Freestyle Friday every freaking Friday at 6:30, 6:45. You get what I'm saying, where it came on. So that was just crazy. Let's just hop into something different real quick. I want to switch gears. Man, let's talk about Sucka Free Athletics.
Oh man.
All right.
So Sucka Free Athletics, man, I'll get right to it. Cause
I seen you on the internet.
Wait a minute.
I was like, yo, my man is going crazy. He at the park. He doing the pull-ups. He doing the diamond cut push-ups. Like you in cell block 8 right now. Like
mentally.
Right.
Mentally.
What made you? Let's start here. What made you want to start like Sucka Free Athletics? Like, did you just wake up one day and was like, yo, I'm about to go on my health and wealth journey?
What started Sucka Free Athletics was a chain reaction of things. As they say today, life hits you fast.
Right. Because that was one of your first transitions from music to doing something else that nobody really seen you do at the moment.
That's a fact. Before social media, before it was cool for rappers to post their lifestyle.
Right.
Before hip hop decided to be healthy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You
like
was on
real
that journey.
shit. I was on that journey, real
what
shit.
What made you just want to just start? You said, of course, you know what I'm saying, it was a mental thing, you know what I'm saying, life hit you hard, but...
So I got the phone call, I'm pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Unconsciously, I've always told myself, when I get this phone call, I'm peace, God. Always told myself when I get this phone call, I'm not gonna look like nobody baby daddy ever. Right? So that's one thing. The second thing is, at the same time I'm becoming a father, I'm kind of transitioning from realizing what it means to like for a label not to fuck with you no more, and then have to figure out what you're gonna do now because the benefit of it is that you do have a name and you have something to stand on. Right. So now you have somewhat of a shaky foundation that you can make solid and keep going. So I had that, but with that came the fact that the closest people that would have did anything to stand next to you when the light was shining did their best not to when it got dim. So that caused real depression. And I'm not saying depression in the sense of how they marketing depression today to people through media and television and all that. Right. Because a lot of people are depressed because they broke. Like, let's be real about being depressed. You feel me? So like, but I could say,
or they watching other people,
or they pocket watching.
They watching other people on social media and thinking that that's where they need to be in life. When honestly, you need to live in the now.
You need to live in the now and do what you have to do.
And be appreciative of what you have.
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? Facts.
And but the reason why I do say that because back then I wasn't aware about motherfucker just sad or you just don't feel good. You know what I mean? Right. But what happened, through to be blunt about it, through losing your deal, right? People you kind of known all your life not wanting to really fuck with you no more because now it's kind of, and I come from Rochester, so I come from a real tight-knit community city, right, where 6 degrees of separation is real. You know what I'm saying? Everybody kind of
Talk
know
that
everybody.
science.
You know
Talk
what I
that
mean?
math.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like, you know what I mean?
You know
Like,
what I mean?
and then, I was nurtured and curated through the Nation of Guards and Nerds, the 5%ers.
Right.
So, my confidence level has never had nothing to do with anything I achieved in life. Like, once I found out that the black man was God at the age of knowledge culture, it never ever, like, I never needed to know nothing else for me to feel supreme about who I am as a being.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So everything else in life that has been given to me has just been added on because of the inner confidence I already try to illuminate through just me walking every day.
Right.
And when you live like that, it can already, the unknown could be fearful to people.
Right.
And if you walk in the known that people are unknown about with such high confidence, then you make people tremble when you walk in certain rooms.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I say all that to say this, like when I lost, again, that's why I keep saying, when I lost my deal, I was so in tune with my flesh. So I let people's opinions affect me.
Which is natural.
And it's natural. And today we learned that could cause depression because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you grow up with motherfuckers and I don't want to be around you just because nigga Jermaine don't want to fuck with you. Like, nigga, we sold crack together and bust guns. How dare you talk about weed?
Right.
Like, how dare, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being human about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, how, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I'm not the only one to deal with it. So to even speak on this, sucker-free athletics was created through me giving myself something that nobody could take. I never had a six-pack. I'm not an athlete. I'm not a hooper. I played football one time in the 6th grade for Pop Warner and I quit because I didn't like practice. But obviously I got the Iverson in me. My sport was spitting.
Right.
And then I found another sport and that was calisthenics.
Right. So
through spitting and calisthenics, I've always maintained my sense of confidence because I'm a person that's willing to try something new take risk, and explore it and see if it's meant for me or not. And if it ain't meant for me, I don't got no problem with not fucking with it no more.
Right.
Because everything is not meant for everybody.
That's true. That's
you understand? So even my duration through the industry, like, yo, it's fun to be a part of hip hop culture. Right. But I'm a block nigga first. And on the block, you don't fuck with everybody.
Right.
So like when you be in the clubs and all that VIP shit, like everybody's around. You get what I'm saying? But it's only a few people that you may fuck with.
Right.
So me in life, like maybe that's like, Dave Chappelle made a skit about keeping it wrong goes real, or keeping it real goes wrong. Like I'm a person where keeping it real goes wrong because I keep it real with myself.
Right.
But if a situation goes wrong, that's just God.
Right.
Because I keep it real with the higher power first.
Right. Or it wasn't, it wasn't like
everything's not meant for everybody.
Exactly.
But again, sucker-free athletics, G. I was living in Hermosa Beach, California.
Right.
And I was sitting on the balcony every day smoking blunts early in the morning, just watching people run by. And at this time, I'm kind of going through my woes.
Right.
And one morning, I had no more Dutches. I had just smoked the last clip from the previous night and from the night before. And I walked to the car to drive to the store, and I was like, nah, man, fuck that, run to the car. Run to the store.
Right.
So I went back in the crib, put my kicks on. I had a pair of Nike Dunks, like high top those, not even no running sneakers. And I ran to the store, and I got my Dutches, came out the store, and it felt so good. I wanted to keep running for a little bit more. I had my hip hop in my headphones, and then the beautiful part about it is that my pride and ego was still with me. So when I got tired, instead of walking down Boulevard, like here in Atlanta, instead of walking through Old Fourth Ward when I get tired, I find me a little crevice spot and I do push-ups. And I get up from the push-ups and I start again with a slow jog because I didn't want nobody to see me walking and ride by and be like, yo, I seen this nigga SunN.Y walking down Boulevard like at 5:30 in the morning. Right. What the fuck is up with this nigga?
Right.
Because that's how we do each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
They judge and don't even know nothing.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and then I'm on tour with niggas, and niggas is like, we parking the tour vans at the hotel, and I'm off the van going for a run.
Right.
Coming back, smoking one in front of the hotel, niggas all dressed to go somewhere. I'm like, niggas like, where you at? I went for a run real quick. I found this spot about 3 blocks away. We could go grub at. Then there's this other spot, senior sneaker store. So what started happening is I'm learning cities on foot while on tour, telling niggas what we doing that day.
That's crazy.
Cause we ain't gotta jump in the car and look for it. I done ran 5-10 miles through Boston, through Chicago.
Right.
The Chef Ty lived in Chicago at the time. I damn near ran from Michigan Lake to South Side, to the West Side, where he at.
So all my Chicago natives, you feel?
Shout out Bo Dill. Bo Dill, no?
Shout out to Bo Dill.
Bo Dill on this, no sense. Shout out my man Bo Dill in Chicago.
Hey, we were supposed to get an interview, Bo Dill, but when you come back, we gonna handle that though, for sure.
So I say that to say this, G. Just like you could bring this question up.
Right.
I would say if you followed me back then or had any relevance to me back then, I am probably the reason why you taking a healthy shot at life.
That's a fact.
And I want to say congratulations to you running your first 5K.
And my first 5K, you feel me? Oh, you tapped in, all right,
Come
man.
on.
You feel me?
Come on.
Yeah, I got on my health and wellness
I'm
journey.
more proud of that because we could do anything else.
Right, facts.
But what we gonna do about our well-being?
That's a fact.
You feel me? So I've been on this before, the marketing through media about depression and all these other, like all these things they try to get people to take these medications for and prescription. You know, big pharma and all the marketing with taking pills.
Yeah.
Like I fixed myself from depression.
You reversed
I reversed everything that meant that I was telling myself mentally to go against me not doing it.
Right.
I reversed it and made myself a greater me, like the greatest version of myself ever in life. Like like when I work out, I feel like I'm on some Navy SEAL shit. So, like, you know, then that turned into like, you know, people like DJ Drama, Don Cannon, DJ Sense. Shout out Trendsetter Sense and the whole Chosen Journey movement.
Because it's most definitely a real one.
Since me and DJ Sense probably spent 7 years consistently working out.
That's crazy.
And through that is kind of what you see manifested today on both sides for both of us.
Right.
Because when you put your, like, when sucker free athletics puts you through, it ain't physical, it's mental.
Right.
Like I used to have cats, like I almost got in the, I ain't gonna name no names, I almost got in the street throwing blows with cats.
Right.
About these workouts.
It's crazy.
Because all I'm telling you to do is 3 more push-ups.
Right.
But you think I'm trying to play you because your pride and ego is in the way of you being great. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
Right.
That's you that's mad
they
that
think
you can't do
testing
it.
their ego, but really you just want them to be great type
I just want
shit.
you to be great, G. Because the greater that we are as a unit of black men, the greater we are as a nation in America.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Like I don't care. Like I don't care what goes on in America. If we not doing it, it ain't cool to do it.
Right. It's more of a spiritual thing for you.
So as much as a culture we love, as much as we know how much is against the black man,
right,
the greater you are for yourself, it's a light that illuminates the rest of us. And if we all great, then we could really take the slogan "Make America Great Again."
Right.
You feel me?
Nah, for real.
Because America don't do shit that we already ain't done, and they don't mimic nothing that we don't do. Our culture is what makes this nation thrive. You feel me? Donald Trump is the greatest rapper alive today. Because he controlled a podium microphone like a rapper.
That's crazy.
You feel me?
I feel you. All right, that was deep right there. You feel me? I know y'all gonna have to rewind that one back. You feel me? But before we get out of here, man, I most definitely want to talk about entrepreneurship, right? And a few things that I want to talk about in entrepreneurship. First and foremost, man, we at you know, your spot, you know what I'm saying, Hudson and Alfonso. You know what I'm saying? Alphonse.
Hey yo. Hey yo.
Alphonse.
I've heard more.
You know what's so crazy?
No, I've heard more something that's called it Alfonso than Alphonse.
Because my dad's middle name though
is Alfonso.
I swear on everything I love.
So here's my personal take on that.
Right. I gotta
black
redo
people
all
got
my commercials.
Black people got with the name Alphonse, but they was like, me going with Alfonso.
Right.
But it probably come from our, like, you know, black Latin spec, you know what I mean? Because Alphonse, you know what I mean? Remember Alphonse is just, that's the nigga from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we at Hudson and Alphonse, you feel me? Let me get it correct, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so first and foremost, you know what I'm saying, bro, y'all got the greatest subs ever. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you.
Now, Teezy, you know me a long time. They gonna think this is biased.
No. This ain't no cap, cause niggas know I don't cap in my shit at all. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't waiting to say it was like an 8 out of 10 and you gotta get better type shit. But I was waiting to be like, any way that I can help my people improve. Like, I'm most definitely on that wave, other than trying to tell somebody, like, you know what I'm saying, like, yo, your shit is right. But when I actually broke it down, you get what I'm saying, like, it was like, first of all, you putting kale in with the salmon. You feel me? That was
Kale has calcium and it's an alkaline lettuce.
And
it doesn't wither like regular lettuce, romaine. There's no nutritional benefits to iceberg, first and foremost.
Right.
So nutritional benefits kind of start with romaine, but romaine will wither with the heat of the kale and all that. So I've always been a kale user for salads and everything. So when it just came to me making subs at home,
you put the kale in the subs.
I just kept it the same.
That's crazy. So we most definitely did a full review, which y'all gonna see that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you stay tuned after the interview so you can see the full review and things like that. But like, what made you like want to just like get into like, all right, so just to take them down a memory lane, we went from coming from Rochester, coming to Atlanta, not really having like, you know, any days to like really settle in, went straight to like 5 open mics a night almost, or a week, you know what I'm saying, straight before going to the radio, then going to the radio freestyling for a whole year, and then after that whole wave come, you start doing sucker free athletics, right? And then, you know, before social media and all that stuff got big, doing it for a spiritual thing, and then you said, hey, listen, now, you know, because every time you reach a new level, like your mind frame changes. You get what I'm saying? Like your mind, like you grow with the levels that you reach into.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
like
a fact.
this is like most from an entrepreneur standpoint, like this is most definitely inspirational, motivational. You know what I'm saying? But what made you want to be like, all right, listen, I know we spoke about it off camera, but I want to just like open up something that, you know, I can feed, you know, the streets to. Mm-hmm. So what made you want to open up like a restaurant?
The movie A Bronx Tale.
That's hard. All right.
My daughter, Honor Elizabeth.
Okay.
And the soul of a hustler that exists in me till this day.
Right.
Yeah.
And you was also saying like outside, you know, off camera, like, you know what I'm saying, you want people to like really get that feeling and that taste of like, you know,
so,
you know, I ain't gonna say it, you got subs.
Right.
3 subs.
No, you can.
You got Philly cheesesteaks.
Let me say this.
But then you got.
Let me say this, man.
Tell him, God.
So look. So I named those 3 things.
Right.
Because those 3 things are the things that ran through my mind during COVID, which kind of was this thing, where this thing kind of got harvested at.
Right.
And then, you know, Chef Ty in his garage, we call it the Bezos garage.
All right.
You know, and I want to be out and you know, to get a lot of more extra dollars to do what I'm doing. Right. I did Lyft and Uber for like a year, maybe a year and a half.
Right, you gotta do what you gotta do.
No. But listen, I'm proud to say that. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm proud to say it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I made a few. I needed a few extra dollars.
Right.
And if I was ever anywhere near, you know what I'm saying, Chef Ty crib, I would pull over there. You know what I mean? Take a break. Or if it was my end of the night, you know, I would go to his garage. And in his garage, I would literally tell him like, yo, man, I'm gonna find a brick and mortar. And man, I think we need to open up a place where people can have our type of subs. Cause during touring as an artist, my sister Tabitha, for one, right. she's a flight attendant. And she was once her hub was in Philadelphia, so she lived in Prospect Park outside of Philly for like 7 years.
Right.
That's right when I got my deal. So I used to be in Philadelphia a lot. Shout out Young Chris and Neef. You know what I mean? Was good.
Yeah.
Shout out my man Lake Show. I used to be in Philadelphia a lot. I used to be, so I've eaten cheesesteaks,
right,
gang of times, but they never added up to they never tasted like what I grew up on in Rochester, right, which is a halal steak sub with cheese, sauteed peppers, onions, and mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? Just a different sandwich in my opinion. And some people say it's a different sandwich.
Right.
Because technically, you know, from the history of a cheesesteak is, you know, shaved steak, sauteed onions, cheese whiz, mayo. And, you know, depending on who you are, you may dress it up different in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? But my first impression, my first joints, that's what it was. And So even touring as an artist, whether it was America or Amsterdam, Paris, wherever I'm at, it was always cheesesteak or Philly. And I'm just like, damn, like, I just felt like the world needed to know a different sandwich existed.
Right.
And it comes from Rochester.
Right.
So in the back of my mind, that exists. The first time, when I first moved to Atlanta in 04, I brought this down here with me. You know what I'm saying? It's a sauce called boss sauce.
I was just about to introduce. Listen,
You know what I'm saying?
even though we got something else in right here.
Yeah. It's
you
a
got
sauce
the
called
boss sauce.
I've been drinking out this boss sauce. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
And when I first came to Atlanta, I was like, man, you know, Rochester, we got some like what we grew up on is different and it's special. And in my mind, I said, you know, again, this is when I came down here to chase rap, and I'm at Murkison's in the West End. And I'm eating some fried shrimp and fish, and I'm using the boss sauce. And you know, the heavy set dude that used to cook food there. Hope he's still alive. Shout out to him and his family, man. But he paid me like $50 for a jar of boss sauce one time, and I was like, man, I need to open up my own shit with boss sauce, cause whoever does that, they're gonna change the game of the taste buds of the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is on record on camera. Hustle and Alphonse been around going on 3 years. And we are the only place in the southeast region of Atlanta of America. We the only other place in the world outside of Rochester that does this. Nobody else does this.
Which is so crazy. And
that
ball sauce is next
and,
level.
And during COVID, my daughter kept saying, Dad, you should get a place where everybody can eat. And then Chef Ty could cook his ass off.
Shout out to Chef Ty, by the way. You know what I'm saying?
But in our hearts, like you know, coming from the block, you know, Atlanta got a lot of blocks. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got the zones.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And in every zone, you got American Deli and all these Chinese takeouts. You know what I'm saying? And coming from the 80s, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure it was just like how we grew up. You know what I'm saying? It was us on the corners with the stores making the food, and on the corner we was able to, you know, gather around and hang out the neighborhood. People walk down the street from their houses and patronize the business, as well as, you know, hung out and kicked it with the owners and you know, and had a great day. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just about spending your money with a business and that's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I realized that's what we doing here because we grew up in the 80s, and this is the kind of corner stores we grew up in.
Right.
Like I was able to go to the store in the corner of Rugby and Arnett. I was able to go to Willie's or go to Freddy's and get a sandwich, and then, you know, Freddie would come from behind, hey, you little boy, you want 25? I said Huggy Juice, and give a nigga a Huggy Juice for free, and you know, and community, man.
Right.
Community, man, period. So,
and I like where it's at right now, the location. I love where it's at, you know what I'm saying? Look like it's right by the neighborhoods, you feel me?
we over here in Summer Hill,
right,
aka Chosewood.
Right.
You know,
right
around the corner of GSU.
People walking up and down the street saying what's up to you, you know what I'm saying? Like, it really feel like the block right over here, you feel me?
Yep,
like, most definitely, man. Man, listen, man, this been a great ass interview, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, you feel me? I hope some people can peep a lot of the knowledge that you was, you know, kicking to them.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I've been talking like this since high school. It was crazy.
And ever since I met you,
like, have you ever interviewed somebody from high school? They be like, yo, man, in high school, man, this dude had like 30, 40 people around, and he'll just be, you know,
you a modern day prophet.
He'll be doing the knowledge. You know, doing the knowledge to things that we are learning, or things that we all have access to. And of course, this is my opinion and my view of it. But you know, dealing with the gods, you know, you're gonna deal with actual facts.
Right. That's a fact.
And there's no way around the facts. You know what I'm saying? So.
And you was down to earth when I said, yo, son, let's do the interview. You was like, yeah, you with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that extra long, you know what I'm saying, messages and stuff like that. No paragraphs. I was probably saying you a few paragraphs.
Because truthfully, I haven't, I haven't been in, like, no rapper bag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I love hip-hop. I love the culture.
You'll always forever be a part of the culture, though.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And you helped start, like, really the battle rap culture in, like, Atlanta. Like, shout out to, you know what I'm saying, John, Reggie P. You know what I'm saying?
I remember when John, because, you know, John, older brother, is,
right,
you know, Life of PG, Paradise Garden.
Yeah, he beat
Bart.
So Def, too.
So Bart was managing T. Waters at the time.
Right.
Just, you know what I'm saying? It was me, Bart, it was T. Waters is over there. You know, them dudes was young lads at the time. So, yeah, shout out to John, because it's truly amazing to see where he took it with, you know what I'm saying, with bullpen and all that. And
right. Shout out the bullpen.
And, you know, it's sometimes I look and be like, you know, man, you know, maybe I could have done something like that. But I'm doing exactly what I love to do, man.
Which
you know,
is most important. And
honestly, I truly love each one teach one. I love community over competition. I love seeing brothers and sisters. I love seeing the world being the best version of themselves, because that's what saves the world.
Yo,
so,
and if you
Hudson and Alphonse Deli, like that's the same thing. The food, halal, wild caught. You know, a lot of places in Atlanta is trying to go halal now because we set the tone with halal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I see that.
Yeah.
And
you see that.
Yeah, no, I see that. I see that. And not only that, man, like just to, you know, give you your flowers real quick, you feel me? If there was a Mount Rushmore of freestyle champions, freestyle kings, like your face is on the Mount Rushmore. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I mean,
real talk.
That's a fact.
Real talk. Like you got artists, you know what I'm saying, and you got rappers, and then you got artists. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you're not a rapper, you're an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
And you know, just to, you know, piggyback off of what you were saying earlier, sometimes you may think like, you know what I'm saying, I could have been in this lane or that lane or something like that, but everything that you create is art. You know
everything
what I'm saying?
is art. Just like, yo, doing this whole thing, like the closest I've gotten to doing anything like this, I was 14. And I was a busboy with my man Morter and Curtis Coke at Spaghetti Warehouse in Rochester. But I love cooking for my family.
Right.
I love that knowing how to cook has saved me physically as far as my health go.
Right.
And with that, I have no problem with wanting to even show someone how to live that lifestyle the same way I've done with Sucka Free Athletics. So I felt like opening this up would at least be a step in that direction for everyone. And I mean, yo, like that freestyle Rushmore comment you just made is kind of sitting on me heavy because it's dope. I appreciate it, man.
Bro, listen, that's no cap though, for real. Like I only think of like 2-3 people when I'm thinking about like real freestylers. I'm not talking about.
That's a fact.
I'm not talking about
not
you writing
pre-written.
No pre-written. I'm talking
do a
about
whole script, a stage show for a battle.
And who got the accolades that you ain't even got to really talk. Like you be like, yo, go search, and you can see like it's there.
Show y'all how we make these great, not how we, but how my brother make these great subs, alright? So I'm getting personally the salmon sub, and then my boy G, he getting the fish sub. And it's ready? It's double ready. You ready? I ain't gonna lie.
Told you. Ooh, forearm size, baby.
Ready?
Y'all should have saw the cameraman face.
So I want to dip the sandwich in the ball sauce first. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Sucka sandwich.
Look at that. Alright. Let's see. I think I'm gonna be here like every week. Cause I need this flavor, man. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 12 out of 10. Alright? Cause I don't know how they made it taste like a Philly sub, right? But with the salmon though, so there's no steak on here. All salmon. The ball sauce, I need something to go. You get what I'm saying? Crazy, look. Then, what is this? Is this kale? What is this?
Kale.
The kale. I never had kale with salmon together on a sub, but I don't want it any other way. This is crazy. I ain't lying to y'all. Like, this is a 12 out of 10. I see why y'all stay busy all the damn time. I gotta give me another taste just to like make sure I ain't tripping. I know I ain't tripping. Look at the ball sauce on